This is why Caitlin Clark is popular. This, scrambling all over the place on the play, almost losing the ball, getting in ball, recovering the ball, being on the logo, step in front. I think that, yeah, both feet are just clear of the logo when she pulls up and bottoms on the three. One of 7 threes that Clark hit in the game for the Indiana Fever. 7 threes. And she statistically put up numbers that the league has really never ever seen in front of a sold-out crowd. 20,000 plus in DC to watch the Indiana Fever play, to watch Caitlin Clark do her thing. And she had perhaps her best game of the WNBA season. I mean, Stat Mamba is giving me all these weird, obscure numbers for Clark, but here you go. It's just some of them right there. First player in WNBA history to reach those numbers in a game. 30 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, 7 three-pointers made, 4 steals. Not bad for the 6th best rookie in the WNBA. Not bad for number 6 there to put up that particular stat line in that game. And she, Clark also the fastest player in WNBA history to record 200 plus points and 50 plus assists. So for people to make it seem like she's been a bust is ridiculous. And this is the stuff that captures the imagination, because Clark was hitting those off-balance threes. She was getting the ball up the floor. She made some beautiful passes in this one. And most importantly, I saw some things from Caitlin that I thought were really significant. She started to attempt some floaters, and she took a little fadeaway on one play. Now, she's clearly not quite comfortable taking them yet. She was a little indecisive about when to do it, but she started to do it. She drew a foul on one of them, got to the free throw line. That's how she's going to take her game to another level, because you already see how she's being defended. And Christy Sides tries to combat that at times by having Wheeler bring the ball up so Caitlin can come off the ball. But they're picking her up full court, and they're blitzing her, as we've seen. So they're really trying to get the ball out of her hands or rattle her or whatnot. And in this one, she hit her shots. That was really the biggest difference. Shows you what fresh legs will do for you, and some practice time for the Indiana Fever. They, finally had a break in their schedule, and I don't think it's a coincidence Caitlin's hitting those shots with the fresh legs. And the Fever looked a little bit more like a team too. Special shout out to Kelsey Mitchell. I want to give her some credit, because she made some hustle plays in this game. Like, we know Kelsey could score. She's a bucket getter. She's wired that way. She's an ISO scorer, all those things. But she made a couple of really strong hustle plays in this game that I think changed things for the Fever and helped them get the win. There's still some problems with Indiana's team construction. I mean, to me, the biggest issue is they just lack in overall athleticism. Their bigs are not fast. That's where they miss Fag Benley. She was just fast. Boston played hard in this game, but she's just never going to have that sort of speed. Melissa Smith is very skilled, but she doesn't have that kind of foot speed. Even their wings, Wallace and Samuelson don't have that kind of foot speed. That's something I think they have to address personnel-wise. On the other side, there was some tough breakdowns where they left Dolson wide open for 3 too many times, considering she's clearly maybe the biggest spot-up shooter I've ever seen put a spot-up shooter, and she was knocking those down. And I want to give some more love to Aaliyah Edwards, who, as a rookie, I'm not so sure she isn't the second most impressive rookie I've seen to Caitlin Clark. Her ability she moves very quick without the ball. She makes quick decisions with the ball. She shares the ball with her teammates, and she could score in a myriad of ways. So I was impressed with her, but Caitlin Clark gave the people what they wanted to see. They filled up that building. It was the most attended WNBA game in who knows how long, a long, long time. They sold it out mad quick, and they got the Caitlin Clark show, which is why she is who she is. She's just fun to watch. She's a dynamic player, and she's showing it in the WNBA as well. And maybe they're building a little team camaraderie too. This moment stuck out to me. Let me show you this real quick between Clark and Erica Wheeler, I think it was, after the game, who crashed. Look, on this post-game broadcast, caught Caitlin a little off guard, crashing her post-game interview. And that is significant in a sense where I wonder if the whole thing this past week galvanized this team, brought them closer together. Sometimes that's the kind of thing that can happen. It can bring you closer together because everybody's got to rally around one another. I mean, it had been a minute since Caitlin Clark had faced the media in a sense, and she did in this one before the game. A couple of people talked to her. She for one mentioned how she was watching the College World Series over the NBA Finals. That was one of the quotes that came out from CC.
To be honest, I had the Women's Softball College World Series on instead. It was a little bit better of a game, but when I flipped back to NBA, I was flipping back and forth. There's a girl that pitches for Texas who's a freshman who actually lived a couple streets over from me growing up, so I was rooting for the Texas Longhorns. Unfortunately, they couldn't get done, but I think like that's even just like a great display of women's sports and where it's going. I've always been a fan of women's softball and women's sports across the board, so I was more so watching that.
So she's going to help women's sports grow, obviously, as well. So I think that answer was a strong one for Caitlin Clark. I'm sure she was just telling the truth, but that didn't hurt her whatsoever. There was also I'm not sure what people want. She mentioned again how she isn't really on social media. She did prop up Kennedy Carter. They asked her about that, and she said this is basketball and it's competitiveness. I keep seeing these people want her to make some sort of statement, and I'm not really sure what that statement is. She's put her head down. She's playing ball. She's paid respect to everybody else, and she's not complaining. She made a statement with her play. She's a basketball player. She made a statement with her play, and she's done nothing wrong. So I think that was the best statement she could make, is putting on a show. That's what the people came to see. That's what the people paid to see. And she did put on the show. Here's another one of those threes. And this one, what is she coming off the curl here? Yeah, catches the ball. And there's another three. 7 of them things in this game. All the talk about Caitlin Clark off the court. We finally got Caitlin Clark back on the court, rested a team that had a chance to practice. Again, Kelsey Mitchell and did a great job in this one. You saw that bonding moment with Erica Wheeler. They beat a team that hadn't won a game, so you don't want to overstate it. The Mystics have been getting close, but they hadn't won a game. Nevertheless, it makes you hopeful about the rest of this WNBA season for the Indiana Fever, because they should improve. Their schedule is going to be easier, both from a load standpoint and an opposition standpoint. And I think we're past all the noise. We're past all the noise, and nobody's going to be talking about Caitlin Clark in a negative way after that game, because she shut everybody up.